after you're joining us through a promotion through Smirnoff Vodka, I wanted to ask you, what do you tell us a little bit more about what you have going on with Smirnoff?
Smirnoff, who was the official vodka sponsor of the NFL, is looking for the cocktail coordinator. Now, I know you're like, what is the cocktail coordinator? We have offensive coordinators, we have defensive coordinators, we even have special teams coordinators. Well, now we have a cocktail coordinator, courtesy of Smirnoff, and we were looking for the person that makes the most crowd-pleasing, energetic championship cocktail. Go to bestjobsinamerica.smirnoff.com, submit your signature cocktail, your championship cocktail, your most fun and enjoyable cocktail, and here's what you get. They're going to pick one winner, and you get a chance with 3 of your friends to go to the Super Bowl. Not only do you get to go to the Super Bowl this year in Arizona, but they are going to fly you private. That's right. Yes. There's no coach tickets. There's no getting upgraded to first class. They're going to fly you private to Arizona as the official cocktail coordinator of Smirnoff.
I wanted to ask you, man, I don't mean to age you or date you here by any chance, but, you were a rookie during the 25th anniversary of this 1972 team. And now it's 50 years. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. It's been 50 years since this 1972 Miami Dolphins team has gone undefeated. Just what can you say about the achievement that this team in 1972 accomplished back then, and for the record to stand as long as it has now?
Well, I think it really goes to show how difficult it is. I mean, it's, in a league where there's only 17 games, 16 for the course of my career, but 17 games in a season, every game is so important. And it's so difficult for a team to go throughout all of the course of the season from August till January or February and be perfect every week. You're fighting injury bugs, you're fighting parity in the league and other teams with great players. And the fact that the 72 Dolphins were able to do that, and then you go all this time and 50 years later, there's still not a team that has done that. Obviously, the Patriots got close a few years ago. The Eagles are riding high right now, but they have a long way to go. And it's such a difficult feat. And I think year after year, as the league kind of with the salary cap era and really creating parity across most of the NFL, it just makes it increasingly difficult.
It's always funny to me, and it's always great to see every year this 72 team, they like to pop out the champagne anytime that last undefeated team gets their first loss. You mentioned the Eagles there. With the way they've been performing, what have you seen from them? And when do you think it might be time for the Dolphins to kind of sweat it out a little bit with them?
They're a really good football team. I mean, Jalen Hurts is playing outstanding, and all the question marks of whether he was a franchise quarterback and an elite level quarterback, I think, are being answered. He brings so much to the table for that team, and they're doing a really good job. I mean, it's across the board, really good defense, good running game, great quarterback play, obviously very talented on the outside. So they have everything they need, but in the NFL, it's not even Halloween yet. It's tough to go through the course of a year without getting guys banged up and fighting to hold on to every win. So I think that the 72 Dolphin team is gonna be popping bottles or serving drinks pretty soon, and hopefully maybe even this weekend.
Let's talk about the current state of the Dolphins now too. What do you think about how Tua, Tyreek Hill, and new coach Mike McDaniel have done so far this season for Miami?
I think so far so good when they're all on the field and healthy. And the Dolphins, like everybody in the league, has been dealing with the injury bug that I keep talking about. And they've had their left tackle Armstead is out. They've been beat up in the defensive secondary. Lost another one, and Nick Needham this past weekend. Season-ending Achilles injury. So there's so many pieces that have been in and out of the lineup. Started off very hot, obviously at 3-0, and then we saw Tua take the hit in Cincinnati, and really Tua taking the hit the week before at home. That kind of steamrolled some of the things that happened over the last couple of weeks, and some of it overreaction, some of it rightfully so. But obviously Tyreek Hill brings a whole different dynamic to any football team. Just ask the Kansas City Chiefs. It's hard to replace someone like Tyreek Hill. Jalen Waddle looking for a bounce back game after a couple mistakes last week that kind of put the Dolphins behind the 8 ball. They're a good football team. They need to stay healthy. They need to protect the quarterback and just keep making plays like they've done, like they did really throughout the course of the year, but particularly in those first 3 games.
JT, I wanted to take a trip down what could have happened lane with you here. I know 2006, you were Defensive Player of the Year. I think you already know where I'm going with this. You probably have answered this plenty of times in your career here, but Nick Saban was the Dolphins coach. There was the Drew Brees shoulder thing. Do you ever look back and think, man, what could have the Dolphins team been with me as Defensive Player of the Year, with Drew Brees as quarterback? What could that have been for the city of Miami and for the Dolphins?
It could have been different, sure. Drew Brees was coming off a shoulder injury, leaving San Diego at the time. The Chargers were in San Diego, and the Dolphins, for whatever reason, we decided to go in a different direction and take a different quarterback and let Drew Brees go on to New Orleans and obviously continue his Hall of Fame career and play great. But we had some really good pieces. We had a really good coach in Nick Saban. Ricky Williams was in the backfield. We were playing really well on defense and had a lot of guys right in their prime of their careers. But that window was still open, and I think it was starting to close a little bit. But it all happens for a reason. We would have loved to have Drew Brees. Obviously, every team in the league, in retrospect, would have loved to have him. But it is what it is. If I can go back and do it all again right now, I would in a heartbeat. And I would stand on Nick Saban's desk and beg for Drew Brees or anything else that would help us win. It's such a hard thing to do in this league. Winning is so difficult, year in and year out, with so much change and turnover in rosters. But we had a shot. But every team, I feel like every team says that in January. January, February, they all said that. Well, we had a shot. We had a couple pieces away. But again, that's as we sit here and honor the 72 Dolphins team. That's what again makes it so remarkable. What Don Shula was able to do with that team and how they just kept coming week after week, and they were getting everybody's best shot every week, and still found a way to go undefeated.
JT, we've seen your football career take a different turn here. Now, your son Mason is playing freshman tight end at LSU. You're a coach at the University of Miami. You're also doing some color commentating during games too. How has this stage of life and football, what's it kind of meant to you now?
It's really been great. I mean, it's obviously different than playing. The competitive level, the competitive nature is still there. The ability to go out in the field and compete and do it physically is gone. So, as we get older, as you so eloquently put at the beginning of this interview, but no, I get a chance now to be dad. My son, as you said, Mason is a tight end at LSU. I have my older son, Isaiah, is a redshirt freshman at the University of Arizona playing safety. So I get a chance to see them on the weekends and play, and there's nothing more fulfilling than watching them live out their dreams and watching them play. Nerve-wracking, but so fulfilling and enjoyable. Then I get a chance to coach at the University of Miami. So, I've dabbled a little bit of TV, radio, coaching at the high school level, coaching now at the college level, and I love what I do. I love it. I get a chance to kind of pay forward what was taught to me throughout the course of my career and throughout the course of my life, and all the great teammates that poured, information and knowledge into me. I get a chance to try to regurgitate what I could find down in there and give it back to these kids. And it's been outstanding, really. I really, besides the coaching hours are interesting. Still going through that process, but no, it's all good. I enjoy it a lot. And again, the most fulfilling thing is watching my sons get a chance to live out their dreams. And then each one of these kids that I get to coach and be associated with on the team are living out their dreams as well. They get 5 years and 60 games in college football to realize their dream or live in their dream. And sometimes they don't even realize they're in the middle of it. And it's our responsibility to put them in the best position, to mentor them, to help them grow, to help develop them in a very positive way. So it's been great.
Hey, sports fans, if you want to see more conversations with athletes and stars, check out these videos right here and be sure to subscribe for more from USA Today Sports.